i4Score is an Industry 4.0 road mapping tool which helps manufacturers answer 4 key questions by guiding them through 6 organizational conversations. Manufacturers face 4 key questions when it comes to Industry 4.0. What is Industry 4.0? Why to care about it? Where to start? And how to scale? Organizations must effectively address the first 2 questions before moving on to the last 2 questions. The last 2 questions of where to start and how to scale must be answered together to avoid what is known as pilot purgatory. The first industrial revolution occurred in the late 18th century and was characterized by the mechanization of water and steam power. The second industrial revolution occurred in the late 19th century and was characterized by electrification and mass production. The third industrial revolution occurred in the late 20th century, was characterized by computerization and automation. The fourth industrial revolution is the new paradigm or period we live in currently. It is characterized by the convergence of information and operating technologies to enable new solutions for improving operating efficiency and growing revenue. From an organizational perspective, i4O provides the toolkit for transformational change into a data-driven culture that makes decisions quickly and solves problems systematically. A good way to further understand Industry 4.0 is from 3 complementary perspectives. The first perspective are the enabling technologies. These are often what people first associate with Industry 4.0. The fourth industrial revolution is characterized by significant convergence of 9 core and information and operating technologies. The second perspective is that of use cases. Use cases represent the state of the art in terms of what's possible to achieve with Industry 4.0 technologies. Use cases demonstrate the business benefits that companies can achieve with Industry 4.0 solutions. The third perspective is system architecture. System architecture is the linchpin between the enabling technologies and the use cases. 6 system architecture design principles determine the degree to which an organization can effectively scale Industry 4.0 across their enterprise by leveraging the enabling technologies to support multiple use cases. What has not changed over time is the manufacturing business model. While there are varying degrees of complexity from company to company, every manufacturer basically sells stuff, plans stuff, makes stuff, monitors shop floor and work cell activity, inventory stuff, ships stuff, and orders more stuff. It's been said that the value of any organization is the sum of all decisions made and problems solved over time. Companies must make decisions faster and solve problems more systematically to maximize the flow of materials and information across the core processes and minimize variation. What also has not changed is the need to achieve business goals. The particular business goals and their prioritization may change over time, but organizations survive by focusing on and achieving goals on a consistent basis. Goal achievement depends on how well the manufacturer can execute their business model by making decisions quickly and solving problems systematically across the core processes. The most difficult challenge with Industry 4.0 is to effectively scale solutions across the enterprise. Starting with the business model of 8 basic processes, the objective is to achieve business goals on a consistent basis over time. The ability to achieve this depends on an effective system architecture, which includes people, processes, and technology. The challenge is to transform these 3 components into a data-driven culture which can make decisions quickly and solve problems systematically. The solution is to focus on the 6 system architecture design principles necessary to transform people, processes, and technologies into a data-driven culture which consistently achieves business goals. The decision of where to start implementation of Industry 4.0 requires the identification of the greatest opportunities to become more data-driven. For example, an organization may be performing relatively well at the shop floor and work cell levels of the organization, but is struggling to make decisions quickly and solve problems systematically at the enterprise level. Over time, the entire organization will transform, but it is important to begin with the greatest area of opportunity to become more data-driven in order to get early wins and create organizational momentum. Many manufacturers have evolved their system architecture over time based upon business goals and the level of sophistication. Each of these system architectures can be defined by their level of maturity relative to the 6 system architecture design principles. Many manufacturers started out with a system architecture based on tribal knowledge, then evolved to an accidental system architecture, then moved on to a siloed system architecture, and may now be migrating to a monolithic system architecture, such as an ERP, MES, or PLM software bundle. Industry 4.0 enables a 5th evolution to an open architecture, with data exchange when and where needed and information retained in a unified data hub. Organizations need to assess their current state of system architecture maturity relative to the 6 design principles and be strategic about the desired state necessary to transform the organization into a data-driven culture which consistently achieves business goals. When it comes to executing their business model, many manufacturers have an unclear system architecture strategy. Some processes are still managed by tribal knowledge. Too many processes still depend upon paper documents. Siloed information is collected and analyzed in spreadsheets. An ERP system has been implemented but does not integrate well with shop floor processes. Cloud-based software solutions have been introduced in some areas, but do not share data. This unclear system architecture lacks the integration necessary to make decisions quickly or solve problems systematically. There is also limited flexibility to adapt to changing processes or new business opportunities. Lack of clarity regarding system architecture is a very common scenario with manufacturers of all sizes and types. The issue is that they have not been intentional about which system architecture to pursue. As a result, many organizations have people, processes, and technologies within their core business model that are straddling 3 or 4 different evolutions of system architecture. There are many Industry 4.0 readiness assessment tools available from industry associations, consultants, and technology vendors. While assessments are an important step when building an Industry 4.0 roadmap, they are not the only step. Given the strategic importance and breadth of Industry 4.0 solutions, manufacturers should push beyond just assessments to have organizational conversations, which include the elements of education, alignment, benchmarking, to enhance the value of the assessment in terms of answering the 4 key questions. Also, the assessment tool should include a mechanism for capturing diverse perspectives, independent opinions, and decentralized knowledge from across the organization. Common wisdom suggests that all of us are smarter than any of us within an organization, and that the best understanding of the day-to-day decisions to be made and the problems to be solved are known as much or better by the frontline operators and supervisors versus only the leadership team. The odds of successfully answering the 4 key questions through an assessment-only process versus an organizational conversation is significantly lower. The odds are lower still when assessing only the senior leadership and ignoring the frontline workforce. There are 6 conversations that organizations must have to answer the 4 key questions and to develop their Industry 4.0 roadmap. The first conversation is about where to start. The organization must be aligned on which organizational level offers the greatest opportunity to become more data-driven in terms of making decisions quickly and solving problems systematically. Over time, the entire organization will transform, but it is important to begin with the biggest area of opportunity to get early wins and create organizational momentum. The second conversation is about how to act faster. The organization must be aligned on which information loop stage offers the greatest opportunity to improve the timeliness of the value of information and make necessary decisions faster. The third conversation is about how to act smarter. The organization must be aligned on which big data value driver offers the greatest opportunity to improve the analytical value of information necessary to solve problems more systematically. The fourth conversation is about which use cases to prioritize. The organization must be aligned on which Industry 4.0 use cases offer the greatest opportunity to make decisions faster, solve problems more systematically, in order to consistently achieve business goals. The fifth conversation is about which technologies to leverage. The organization must be aligned on which Industry 4.0 enabling technologies offers the greatest opportunity to support the prioritized use cases. The sixth conversation is about which competencies to develop. The organization must be aligned on which organizational competencies need further development in order to enable the successful transformation to a data-driven culture, with a system architecture necessary to achieve the business goals. There are 5 steps to creating an i4Score Industry 4.0 roadmap. Step 1 is to initiate the roadmap by clicking on the Get Started button on the i4Score.com website. Step 2 is to create a company profile. Step 3 is to invite colleagues to participate. The goal is 10 or more participants depending on the company size. Each survey requires 5 to 10 minutes to complete. The surveys are emailed to the participants in sequential order, and participants may choose to answer all 6 surveys at once or spread them out over several days. Step 4 are the organizational alignment conversations, based upon the real-time survey results dashboard. And step 5 is to review the final report and translate the key findings into roadmap action plans.